Hello and welcome to Barbershop Book Story Time with Alvin Irby. That's me. Today's story is called Daniel Finds a Poem. And I think that the little boy on the cover is Daniel because normally when the title of a book has a name in it and there's a picture of a person on the front cover, usually the name is also the person on the front cover. And let's take a look at what Daniel is looking at. It looks like he's looking at a chipmunk. Is it a squirrel? I think it's a chipmunk. Now, one of the reasons why that's kind of funny to me is because my name is Alvin, and you may have heard of this chipmunk who also has the name Alvin. Well, it looks like Daniel is very curious because he likes to look at different things and maybe learn about different things. So I wonder if he's going to find a poem because the story is called Daniel Finds a Poem. Well, I can't wait to read it. Let's go. Daniel knows all the rocks, trees, and animals in the park. And look. I think that's Daniel, and he's playing with a dog, and I see lots of birds and animals and colorful leaves. All of the colorful leaves makes me think that it's fall, because when it's fall or autumn, the colors of leaves change, and there are usually lots of beautiful colors. On Monday morning, Daniel sees something new on the park gate. A sign reads, "Poetry in the Park, Sunday at 6 o'clock. What is poetry, Daniel says. And look, here's the park gate. It's really, really long. And here's the park. And look. The entrance to the park. It's right here. This is the entrance. And look, here's the sign, and it says Poetry in the Park, Sundays at 6 p.m. And so Daniel is reading that sign, and he's wondering, what is poetry? What is poetry? Well, I guess we have to keep reading to find out. He looks up in surprise when he hears Spider say, "To me, poetry is when morning dew glistens." Ooh. And look, if you look closely, here's a spider web with tiny droplets of water all over it. In the morning, like early in the morning, if you run your hand across some grass, like outside, it'll be wet with dew. That's the water that you usually find on top of the ground in the morning. They call it morning dew. And look, you can see it all over this beautiful spider web. And look, when the sun hits it, it glistens. Normally for something to glisten, that's kind of if it shines or shimmers a little bit. Normally, light has to hit it. On Tuesday, Daniel climbs the old oak tree. He sees Squirrel. Squirrel, do you know what poetry is? He's asking the squirrel if he knows what poetry is. And look, here's Daniel talking to the squirrel. And look, here's the rest of the park. And look, do you see all the different colored leaves? It's the time of the year when leaves change into lots of different colors. Oh. So it seems like Daniel is asking all the different animals in the park what poetry is. And they all are telling him different things. On Wednesday, oh wait, what day is the poetry? Oh, it's on Sunday. So we have a few more days. On Wednesday, Daniel calls into Chipmunk's hole. Chipmunk, can you tell me what poetry is? I was right. It was a chipmunk on the front cover. I don't think his name is Alvin, though. So he asked the chipmunk, can you tell me what poetry is? I wonder what the chipmunk is going to say. I wonder if you look, I see the chipmunk is surrounded by acorns. And here's the chipmunk. The reason I knew it was a chipmunk is because of this colorful stripe on his back. Normally chipmunks have that. That's how I knew when I was looking at the front cover. It's kind of small, but if you look close, you can see it too. And look, here's Daniel calling down into the chipmunk's hole. I bet, well, I don't know, but because the chipmunk is surrounded by acorns, I wonder if the chipmunk is going to say that poetry has something to do with acorns. I don't know. Let's see. Poetry. Poetry is a home with many windows in an old stone wall. Oh, so he didn't talk, the chipmunk didn't talk about the acorns, but he did talk about the wall made of stones in his hole where he lives. So I wasn't exact. It's really fun to guess what you think may happen next. And then you just keep reading to find out, did I get it right? On Thursday, Daniel makes a boat with a leaf for a sail. A sail is what helps a sailboat move. When the wind hits the sail, then the boat starts to move. On Thursday, Daniel makes a boat with a leaf for a sail and watches the wind carry it across the pond. He calls quietly to the frog. Excuse me, frog, what is poetry? I wonder what the frog is going to say. Poetry, says Frog, is a cool pool to dive into. And look, here's Daniel. Where's the frog? Oh, there it is. The frog dives into the pool or the pond, but not before saying that he thinks that poetry is a cool pool to dive into. Oh, it did say pool. Cool. On Friday, Daniel parts the cattails and finds Turtle. Hello, Turtle. I have a question. Do you know what poetry is? I think poetry is sun-warmed sand, Turtle says. So it seems like all the animals, when Daniel asked them, what is poetry? They all have a different answer depending on where they live and move. And the turtle said that poetry is sun-warmed sand. I think it's sand that becomes warm because the sun shines down on it. Like, have you ever walked on maybe sand in the summer when it's really, really hot outside? Or maybe at a swimming pool where you walk around the pool on the concrete when it's really, really hot outside? Did you ever notice if you were barefoot that maybe the ground was really, really hot or a little warm? Well, I think that's what Turtle was talking about. This book is filled with lots of cool animals and lots of beautiful colors. Did I show you the picture? I don't remember. Well, here's Turtle on the sand. And here's Daniel talking to Turtle. On Saturday afternoon, Daniel finds Cricket. in the shade of the slide. Ah, so it looks like Cricket is hiding or just sitting under a slide. And Daniel, he has to get down really, really close to see him because a cricket, is a cricket big? No, a cricket is like tiny, tiny. All right. I wonder what Daniel is going to ask the cricket. Going to ask Cricket, what is a poem? Although he hasn't asked him yet. And look, here's Daniel, and he's looking down at Cricket. And remember, I told you it was tiny, so he had to get really, really close. And look, here's the slide. And the cricket is kind of chilling under the slide. You know what? That actually makes me think about, I haven't been to a park in a really long time. I would like to go down a fun slide. How about you? Let's see. Hey, when the shadows are long, Cricket fills the air with music. Crickets do make a special sound. And if you've ever been maybe in the country or a rural area where there aren't a lot of people and a lot of cars and a lot of buildings, well, early in the morning, you can usually hear crickets. Is this poetry to you, Cricket? Singing at twilight when the day is done? Indeed it is, Daniel. Ah, so Cricket said that to him, singing at twilight when the day is done. Twilight, well, that's kind of the time when the sun is setting. Usually the sky can turn all kind of really fun and beautiful colors like purples and pinks and oranges and all those types of colors. And it usually happens when the sun has just gone down. And look, if you look in the background, you can even see it. See all these different colors, the purples and the oranges. Well, that's twilight. And I guess crickets like to sing during that time. Oh, do you remember? What day is it that he's talking to Cricket? Saturday. What is the next day of the week after Saturday? We've gone through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and what's next? Sunday. Do you remember what the sign at the park said? It said that on Sundays at 6 p.m., there's poetry in the park. So I wonder if Daniel's going to get a chance to hear a poem. That night, Saturday night, moonlight fills Daniel's room. He hears a hoo. Leaning from his window, he calls to Owl. Owl, what is poetry? What do you think the owl says? Probably, hoo, hoo. Because that's kind of what owls say. They just say, hoo, hoo. But I got a feeling that this owl probably might have something else to say. And look, here's the owl outside of Daniel's window on a tree branch. And if you look closely, I think you can see a little silhouette of Daniel. You see? There's Daniel. Let's see what the owl has to say. Oh, poetry. Poetry is bright stars in the branches, moonlight on the grass, and silent wings to take me wherever I go. Good night, dear Daniel, she whispers. Oh, did she whisper all of that? Oops. I don't think I whispered. I'm going to try it again, but this time with a whisper. Oh, poetry? Poetry is bright stars in the branches, moonlight on the grass, and silent wings to take me wherever I go. Good night, dear Daniel, she whispers and flies off into the night. And look, here's the owl flying off into the night. And look, there's a house, and here's a tree. I think this might be Daniel's house. Or maybe it's an apartment, because I see a lot of windows, and normally apartments have lots of windows. Houses can have windows too, but usually apartments have more windows than houses. Well, let's keep on reading and see what happens next. On Sunday, the sun wakes up Daniel. He is happy when he remembers it's Sunday. Why do you think Daniel's happy that it's Sunday? Probably because there's going to be poetry at the park at 6 p.m. Today is poetry in the park, says Daniel, and I have a poem. Whoa! Daniel has his own poem? I can't wait to hear it. And look, here's Daniel waking up super duper excited because it's Sunday and there's poetry in the park on Sunday. Oh, look, he has all kind of cool little toy animals on his windowsill and on top of his dresser. Do you see all the different animals? Let's see if we can figure out what they are. Well, this one is a zebra. Do you see it? I can tell because it has black and white stripes. This one is a hippo, that it was a rhinoceros, but since it doesn't have a horn, I think it's a hippo. And this one, well, it has a long neck and it's really tall, so it's a giraffe. And up here, well, that's one of my favorites. It's an elephant. If you've watched any of my barbershop book storytime videos, you know that I love elephants. I love them so much that whenever I see an elephant, I can't help myself. I just have to make an elephant noise. Would you like to hear an elephant noise? Okay, hold on. How was that? Cool, right? All right, let's keep reading. Morning dew glistens. Crisp leaves crunch. There's a home with many windows in the stone wall. Cool pools to dive in. Sun-warmed sand to lie in. Singing at twilight when the day is done. Bright stars in the branches. Moonlight on the grass. And silent wings. That is a cool poem. And guess what? Daniel's poem is made up of all those different things that makes this really, really beautiful poem. And look, here's Daniel standing up telling other people about his poem. Oh, I guess you can't see them. Here they are. Look at all these silhouettes of all these people who are listening to Daniel's poem. And look, here's Daniel standing up. Wow, you have it takes a lot of courage sometimes to stand up in front of a lot of people, because some people get really scared when there's a whole lot of people that are kind of looking at you. But Daniel is brave, and I think he's super duper excited because he's been waiting all week to tell his poem to people at the park. On the way home, Daniel stops to watch the sunset sky reflecting on the pond. That looks like poetry to me. To me too, said Dragonfly. It's funny how in this story, all of the animals can talk. Well, that's the end of today's story. Daniel finds a poem. What a really cool and beautiful story and a beautiful poem. Thank you so much for watching Barbershop Books Storytime. If you would like to learn more information about Barbershop Books, you can visit our website at barbershopbooks.org, or you can connect with us on social media at Barbershop Books. Well, until next time, bye.